Now, rare skills. So I have written this specifically because you want to continue to build skills in an area which is not being served by others. So 20 people should not be competing for the kind of service you're offering. In fact, it should be such that once you delivered some services to the client gives you a matter, and then if they have to think of another lawyer, they'll be like, man, it is going to be so problematic to even brief some other lawyer to give them all the documents and to explain this guy is tried and tested and I can trust this person, and I would have this person do everything else. uh, if I try to give it to another lawyer, firstly, I have the risk that that person may not perform. Secondly, there's a ton of coordination that I have to do. Okay, so that level of solution orientedness you will need to have for the client. And it's easier to demonstrate. The only thing is that we are happy to do legal work, but we are not happy to talk about the legal work in a way that matters for the client. Okay. There's a question that has been asked by Bijal. How can one approach this type of gateway service offer to a mere trademark registration client? So the trademark registration client is what? This is the person who has come to you for a simple service. It's a low end service, but a great one, because without a low end service, you cannot offer a higher end service. Okay, so you do the registration work, and that's perfect, right? What did you do? You just registered a brand for somebody. Then you'll say, okay, I have studied your business, I see you have a website. Now how are you checking that other people are not infringing your brand either in other parts of India? How do you check that somebody doesn't come up accidentally with a similar name, start using it, and then become popular in a different state? How do you prevent that kind of thing from happening? Now that enables you to escalate one level. What does this enable you to escalate to? A trademark watch service where you will do searches both on the trademark registry, trademark site. You will do public searches also on Google and other tools. And you will file oppositions at the trademark registry. You will file cease and desist notices. You will prepare reports. If the company is a subsidiary of a big corporate, you will prepare a report for the board every quarter to say what were the results of every week's search or every fortnight search and what actions have been suggested or not suggested. Just furnishing that report has a cost because you've worked on it, you've spent time on it. Then you will say that um, you've been, how are you planning to monetize this brand? Have you thought of franchising this? Then you will say, how are you scaling up? When you scale up, are you looking at VC or PE investment? When are you expecting the next round? They say, okay, I will do it. I want the next round of investment in the next 3 months. And you'll say, okay, how are you preparing for it from a legal perspective? Are your documentations in order? Because if an investor comes, they will have a law firm do the diligence. And if you need the money quickly, you will need to ensure that the diligence shows everything to be in order. So I can help you prepare for that. Would you be interested in that? That allows you to do a legal health checkup. You can do that at a nominal cost and then recommend 5 other things they need fixed, and they will find perfect value for it. Okay. Then if they are dealing with a situation of downsizing, you can say, I can help you do this clear legally in a clear way. Okay, a lot of times if you look at how companies downsized during the COVID lockdown, uh, law was changing so fast. It was different in different states. Sometimes you could downsize, sometimes you couldn't. And a lot of times it was lawyers who were drafting all of these documents, but there was a lot of social and communication angle involved where people were clear not to offend employees. So it was not like the hardlining legal way. It was done in a very, very cooperative way, and yet saying that, I have no other way to pay, so this is what we have to do. And employees agreed, even though the company legally couldn't have done it. Okay, but employees agreed, and commercial situation demanded that. So lawyers were literally getting into the middle of business and running the show for downsizing. Okay, so these kind of problems will keep happening for clients, and you have the opportunity to serve them with it, right? Now the other thing is, now I said that you will be discoverable by clients, and you will have this kind of thought leadership and track record. They'll find out about you online, their friends will talk about you, right? That is one thing. Now that is generic, it is credibility. When clients think of you, they will think that you are some kind of an expert. Second step, how do I know? I know that you're a reputed person, but how do I know that you're the right person for me? For that, I need some taste of interactions with you, right? I need to have some sense of how you operate. I may need to have worked with you or at least had some communications with you. Usually this is a one step process where a client comes, lawyer talks to the client and then says, I'll send you what needs to be done with the court, you pay or don't do anything, right? Or you can leave. Or there's one meeting where the lawyer gives one free meeting and after that the court is there. These courts are usually fairly expensive and then the client may ask for a discount or walk away. Alternately, the client will say, no, give me a retainer quote. Your one work quote is too expensive. You give me a retainer for everything. Now, if you could extend this interaction to a longer phase, because it's not giving you enough time to demonstrate the value for that client to build trust. Okay, everybody's doing the same thing. You elongate this process from one meeting to four conversations and reduce your time. Okay, I call this an onboarding process. This is a potential client onboarding process. Okay, where what you do in the first meeting, that free meeting you called, you reduce it, you listen to the client maybe only for 15 minutes and do offer a requirement analysis. Okay, in the requirement analysis you will be talking about the client's business. Now many of us don't know enough to ask about the client's business, and the second thing we don't know is how do we connect the business to the legal services. The third thing we don't know is how to deliver those legal services we identify. Okay, but if we knew these three, then we can do a requirement analysis. After we do a requirement analysis, we can tell them, okay, great, now this is what you need. Let me offer you something small that I can do for you at a really dirt cheap price. Nobody can beat this price. Do that, and then you say, now these are the 10 things you need fixed, this is what I charge. Okay, and they will, and that after requirement analysis, the first thing you did is your gateway service. That's the low cost solution. We recommend you do trainings because trainings don't have out of pocket cost from your end. It gives you opportunity to face the client's people. It gives you opportunity to interact with the client and get more information, and that builds trust because you've spent energy to give them value and they didn't specifically ask for that process. So that blows them away, literally. Okay, and that builds the trust. Then what do? Then after you give this, then you can give them a full roadmap. You need these 10 things fixed. This is the quote. You can pay me for each of these individually. This is the time it will take, or you can give me a lump sum. This is the discount for a lump sum. You have so many apps on the Play Store or the iOS store where there's a discount if you pay for 1 year, and there is a different price if you pay for a month, right? So you can do that. And because the client was getting a high value in every interaction, they know if I talk to you, you're going to offer me value. And they also know there's a cutoff point. After the roadmap, I'll stay in touch, but I'll not offer the services. So there is an approach you need to take that I am giving you this, I'll do the legal work. If you don't want I will not do anything for free other than that. I've given you the free training or I've given you a very dirt cheap registration service. Now after that, if you want to talk, I'm there to talk. Okay, I'll talk to you, I'll say what the concern is, but if I'm delivering service, I'm always going to charge. So the client is going to run out of things to talk. Okay, if you have people who are going to take, you will very soon be out of people who want your time to go to another lawyer also. If you develop this approach, you will say that this is the service you need, now we need to start, otherwise I can address your questions but your problem will not get solved, right? Then the other thing is, at this point when clients don't pay and go away, uh, you will need to act in the best interest of the client. Most of us think that if the client went away, then our opportunity is lost. No, this is a longer game than that. The client may have changed, the business need may have been different, or you may not have been able to identify the business need this time, but next time you may be able to, or the client may have gone to a cheaper lawyer and later on you can may come back to you, or may have gone to another lawyer who's just not as good. You don't know. Maybe the client will not come back, but in a lot of cases the client will come back later if you're doing your job the best way. Plus add in another process of sharing information that may be relevant to a client. You will know that okay, this client is doing well, can pay me, definitely has a need. Share relevant information one on one on email when you find it relevant. Okay, if you see that okay, RBI is planning a certain kind of move, there's a discussion paper on something, you will share that and then you will say that these things will need to be done, and the client may come back to you. Okay, or you will once in a quarter or once in 4 months you will catch up with them and say okay, just wanting to understand how your business is going. These are a few new things that have been happening in your space and how you're dealing with that. Let them talk to you. Okay, that will help you. The more information you have, Provided you know your stuff, now people struggle with that. But the more information you usually have about the business, the more you can extrapolate, the more services you can identify. People struggle because they don't know how to connect the business information to legal services, and they think that, how do I, what do I offer you? But that gets fixed if you have the right legal knowledge in place. Okay.